Good afternoon and welcome to Orient Live. The O's are hoping to continue their fine form and we're facing Wigan away. It's stormy conditions, but hopefully we'll breeze on through nicely. And we've got a very special treat today. We've got Andrew Butler, of course, in the studio. As you can see, we've got a legend as well. King Kevin returns to Eton to join us for this one. Kevin, welcome back. An interesting one today. Wigan, obviously, historically a massive side, but following up on Tuesday's win would be really important for it today, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I think you always associate Wigan with a championship club. I know they're not in the championship at the moment, but they're a very good League One side, and for me, it's always a club. Whenever you went up there, it was a hard game. You look at the conditions today; it's going to be very difficult. It's a 12:30 kickoff, but as you say, following up from a really good performance and a result on Tuesday, I'm sure the boys will go up there with good confidence.
It kind of rings a little similar to Stephen Agyei a couple of weeks ago, Andrew. Kevin's already mentioned the storm. It was tough just getting in the studio today, to be honest. Up in the north, it's looks like it could be a bit of a scrappy one.
Could be scrappy. I think might be the right word. We can't really predict how the game's going to go. I think Stevenage is a good comparison because that was also a massive storm. I think we mentioned it on Tuesday night, but that game against Stevenage was probably one of the worst games. I know we got a 0-0 draw, so that's a good point there. But it was one of the worst games in terms of quality, just because of the conditions. Already we've seen a Premier League game get called off, the Liverpool-Everton game, which is supposed to be kicking off at the same time as this one, and that's just more or less down the road from Wigan. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of how those conditions up there make the game play out. But game's on, so we've got to play it.
And we are going to play it indeed, and we're going to take a look at the team very shortly. But first, let's hear from the main man himself, Richie Williams.
How pleasing was it for you, just how confident we looked out there?
Well, we've changed the way we play a little bit. That's not to say that we're going to play it this week because Wigan are different. And we just thought that the way to play against Bristol would be that way. But then we tried to play at Oldham as a preparation for the Bristol game, knowing that we could play the same way. So a lot of the players are enjoying that way of playing, and I think it looks fluent. And more importantly, when the ball turns over, we're there to smother the ball and we don't get countered on. I think the only negative at the Huddersfield game was we had a 10-minute period where we give the ball away, and in one pass we're open, and Huddersfield had a couple of one-on-ones and the penalty, which wasn't good. So I think let's just build on it. Let's build the confidence. Let's build the rhythm that the players are starting to get, and take it into Saturday.
Wigan to come, as we say. Where do their strengths lie?
Well, they've always been a big club in this league. They've obviously had certain issues. I think they're a well-coached team. They're a really good club. And they've got some real talented players. Asgard's an excellent player. Dale Taylor, he's someone who I've tried to sign in the past. Matt Smith, someone who I've worked with in the past. So they've got some really good football players. And like I said, they're a well-coached team, so it'll be a difficult game for us.
Right then, let's take a look and see how the O's are lining up today. There's a couple of changes following on from Tuesday night's win. A very impressive win indeed. It was over Bristol Rovers. Jaden Sweeney comes in for Jack Curry, who isn't in the squad at all today. And Jordan Brown, who came on early in that game on Tuesday, keeps his place after replacing Dan Pratley, who's not in the squad either. And across the back line in full, we've got Josh Keeley in goal with Jaden Sweeney at left back, and Tom James on the opposite side of the fence with Dan Happy, alongside today's captain Omar Beckles. In midfield, it's the two of Don Ball and Jordan Brown. And then it's an attacking front four, let's call it. It's Ollie O'Neill, Jamie Donnelly, Sonny Perkins, and leading the line is Dan Agyei. And on the bench for the O's is Hemming, Simpson, Cooper, Galbraith, Kelman, JSCME and Obiero. No surprises really that there hasn't been that many changes. Jack Curry, you'd expect, probably picked up a knock of some sort, not being in squad at all. And Jordan Brown, as expected, stick to the winning formula, hopefully.
Yeah, and I think, it's. I thought Brown and Ball were fantastic in the middle on Tuesday night. Obviously, Brown didn't start the game, came on for Pratley after about 5 or 6 minutes, and did an excellent job, as we know he would be doing. But also, I thought Jaden Sweeney last Saturday against Oldham was also superb when he came on. Was so sprightly and did his job magnificently well, linking up well with Ollie O'Neill down the left-hand side. So hopefully you see a bit more of that again this afternoon. Does seem that Jack Curry's probably just picked up a knock to not be in the squad at all, and Ethan Galbraith looks like he's probably only about 50-50 for the game, which is why he's on the bench.
And Andrew mentioned that game last week against Oldham. I think that 97th minute goal from Josh Keeley probably was a bit of a turning point. Winning the cup tie as dramatically as we did,
Yeah.
and then the performance on Tuesday night. How important is it to use those two fantastic highs and drive that as momentum?
Yeah, look, I've been in the game long enough to know that if we lost that cup game, we probably wouldn't have won that game against Bristol Rovers, and that's just the way football is. And the momentum, the passion that was developed from that goal, the keeper scoring, and obviously the last minute winner. When you get in that change room, there's a sense of togetherness that sort of carries you through and gives you a little bit more momentum, and I'm sure that was the catalyst and the reason for that performance against Bristol Rovers. So, listen, I know a lot of managers don't like those cup games and they'd rather not have them, but sometimes they're necessary.
For sure, and let's talk about Tuesday very quickly, because I think it was probably the best performance this season. It was complete, it was dominant. Bristol Rovers obviously weren't too impressive, but we were on absolute fire.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Bristol Rovers were good at all, but we made them look probably worse than they are as well. We were fantastic straight from the off, just so energetic. Looked like we were buoyed from the win on Saturday against a team in Bristol Rovers who had a similar-ish kind of encounter the previous weekend in the FA Cup, because they overcame their opposition on penalties as well. So they would have been buoyed going into the Tuesday night game, but we completely dominated them. And even in the second half, I think the Bristol Rovers fans, I mean, one of the moments of the season was we've had them chanting, "We've had a shot, we've had a shot," and that song goes on a little bit more. But after on the, what was it, like 88th minute, I think that was of the game. And so it really kind of showed our dominance, even the fact that we went 3-0 up before half time and they came out and didn't have anything. But it just showed a marker, I think, for us of how good we can be. I think Ollie O'Neill, when he spoke to us after the game, said that it was a kind of performance that they knew that they had in them. And these players are, it's an excellent team, it's an excellent squad. I think right at the start of the season, when we started putting a bit of a run together, it looked like, oh, this is a really decent squad, and players don't become bad overnight. And Tuesday night was one of those games where we were brilliant throughout, and every player kind of was putting in 8, 9, 10 out of 10 performances.
And it was as Andrew touched on, 120 minutes football on Saturday, Tuesday night fixture, and an early kick-off today. We're in that period, aren't we, where the football feels like it's coming thick and fast. We've got a game on Tuesday in the league trophy. But when you play like you do on Tuesday, you're just excited to get back out there again.
Yeah, I think you'd rather. I know me. I'd rather play than train. I'd much prefer to play games, and I'm sure these lads, after that performance on Tuesday, would have been desperate to get back on the field. I'm not sure about the journey itself or the conditions, but listen, this is what we get paid to do, and it's coming. We're at that Christmas period now where footballers get their game heads on now, and they understand it's more about results, playing games now, keeping fit, and giving performances now. And look, when you come out at this end of January and you see where you are in the league, then you can really kick on, and it gives you sort of indication of what your season's going to be like and what you're challenging for. So I think this is a massive game. I think if we don't win today, it sort of takes away from the game on Tuesday. And more importantly, a good performance. I think it's really key that we don't go there and sort of give in to Wigan and let them dominate despite the conditions or the journey. I think it's really important that we go there and give a good performance and show that we can do it away from home.
You do expect it's going to be a bit more of a battle, as Kevin says, as opposed to the dominant performance that was Tuesday night. We're going to need to be strong, we're going to need to be solid, and that side of the game will have to be really important.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be, I think, games when they're played in these sort of conditions, you kind of just have to accept that there will be moments of ropiness perhaps in defence, but that applies for both teams as well. Wigan haven't been particularly fantastic going forward this season. They've only scored 15 goals in the league, which is the third least in League One. And Asgard, who Richie Wellens actually mentioned in his interview, is probably their best player. He's actually on the bench this afternoon, and he scored a third of their goals in the league so far this season. So it kind of speaks to a point of actually they're not, they've been struggling for goals, and so we need to take advantage of that. But the conditions, obviously, we can't really say what they're like, because we've not really seen how bad they are up in Wigan so far, will probably make a huge difference this afternoon.
Let's talk about the fun side of the game then. Goals, you know a thing or two about that, Kevin. We were free scoring on well, we only scored 3, but we looked like we could have been scoring even more.
Only scored 3 though.
Well, 3 scoring. We looked like we probably maybe should have had 6, 7 goals. We were that good.
Yeah. Hopefully
we can put a show on in the goals department as well today.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a completely different game today. I think it's going to be more about managing the game, and I'm sure the gaffer will be happy with a 1-0 victory, especially in these conditions, and obviously playing the amount of games that we've played. It's always good to score goals. It gives everyone a bit of confidence, and it also gives the defence a little bit of a breather as well if your strikers are scoring. And I think it's the catalyst of a really good season, having people scoring goals and everyone feeling confident. But I think you've got to be considerate as well to where we're going in conditions. And I think if we go there and get a 1-0 win, it shows the other side of the game. That's really important as well, keeping clean sheets and also managing the game as well.
It's also one of those things where we've actually struggled to do that. Like we put Bristol Rovers to bed 3-0 on Tuesday. We beat Blackpool 3-0 at home as well. When we've won, and I say Stockport 4-1 away, when we've won, it feels like it's been comfortable. When we've lost, it's felt like it's been tight. Whereas Wigan, on the other hand, have done things like the other way. They've carried on losing games narrowly. So they lost to Huddersfield 1-0 on Tuesday night, but then they beat Cambridge 2-1 very narrowly. Beat Northampton 2-1 a couple of weeks ago, and that's kind of, they're all teams like Cambridge, Northampton around where we and Wigan are as well. So we just need to be alive to the fact that they have just about got over the line in the last few weeks.
They certainly have. Well, we'll talk a little bit more about goals in just a second, but first, just to remind you, of course, this game is going out on Sky Sports Plus, but it is also available to stream on Orient Live if you're an international fan. If you're watching live on YouTube now, just head over to the website and pick up a match pass to watch along. For £10 UK fans, you can listen along with Dave Itch and Matt Hiscock with an audio pass as well. Now, time to take a very quick break from the football and time to spread some Christmas cheer. Some of the players headed down to Leytonstone earlier this week to turn on the Christmas lights.
We've just come down to turn on the lights for the local church. It's an incredible turnout. They've got loads going on, bouncy castles, they're just serving hot chocolate in there, which was nice, with some special unicorn sprinkles for some of the girls. But so yeah, it was a really, really good initiative, really joyful, kind of, festive spirits. So it's nice to turn on the lights and yeah, be a part of what's going on in the local community. So yeah, honestly, I tried to get a whipped cream. I was just scrambling. So yeah, not for me.
Omar! Can I hear it for Zach? And can I hear it for Jaden?
Something I believe in, something I take really serious, and to see so many people come out here, it's freezing cold, but they're all enjoying themselves. The kids are running around. It's good to see. There's Orient fans everywhere now, so you can see what the club is doing for not only us, the community.
Really nice to come down and be amongst the locals in the local community. Extremely joyful, loads of little kids here. So yeah, for someone like myself who is a local lad, yeah, it's really nice to be involved in this, and I think it's good that our club plays a massive part in the local community. So yeah, really good. I'm one of those ones who leaves it to a week before and tries to cram it in. So yeah, I definitely haven't started my shopping yet, but I probably should.
We're here at St John's Church and we're lighting up Leytonstone for Christmas. So we've got our Christmas tree and then all the lights around Leytonstone. So we're lighting them up tonight and having Santa's Grotto and hot chocolate and mulled wine, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a bit of a party. We have supporters in our church and I think it's really good for them to be involved with a community event like this. So to come down and for people to see them and interact with them, I think that'd be really good. That'd be great. St John's is right in the centre of Leytonstone, right by the tube, right on the high street. So it is the hub of the community. So we love having these events and getting everyone from the community in and mixing with each other. And yeah, it's fabulous. We love it.
So go on then, guys, in the Christmas spirit and with a bit of football hooliganism. I want it nice and loud from everyone. Yeah? We're going to count down. You ready, guys? Yeah. You ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well done, guys. Big round of applause!
Staying in the festive spirit then, don't forget we've got the Christmas range available in store and online now. Overseas fans, you've got until the 9th of December to get your deliveries in for shipping, and UK fans revised until the 16th. So make sure you get over there, get your loved ones some Orient gear for Christmas, why not? Let's talk about Dan Agyei now for a second. He was instrumental on Tuesday, got the crucial goal last Saturday in the FA Cup. He's such an important player for us, isn't he?
Yeah, every time I watch him play, he's all active, he's aggressive in what he does. You can see he wants to score goals. He may not always look the best, but he's really effective. And I think we would struggle without him. I think he got 9 goals, you say? 9 goals this season? And we're not even in January, so there's every chance he could hit double figures. But more importantly for the team, his hold-up play, that's a lot better. I watched him I think it was Charlton at the beginning of the season. He sort of struggled holding up the ball, and he seems to be really inspirational for the team at the moment, and hopefully he can get more goals and get us up the table.
You probably think of Dan Agyei and you think of the pace and the skill and the finishes and the goals, but actually it's the pressing he was doing on Tuesday night, the strength, the determination for his goal. He was more than just a striker.
Yeah, the way he uses his body also is one of the most impressive things. If you look at kind of our third goal against Bristol Rovers, the way he just harries the player on the byline, wins the ball kind of through his legs, and then finishes brilliantly. It's what the side of his game which is, I think, so underrated, because he doesn't look like the most physically imposing player. He doesn't have like this huge presence, but defenders know about him when he's breathing down their necks or as he's side by side. The way he carries the ball and can hold off his man is particularly impressive. And it's just really nice to see that he's really hitting the goal scoring form as well now, because he had not a bad start to the season, but we weren't scoring as many goals as we wanted to, and Kelman was getting the starts, and Kelman got on the score sheet a bit more than Dan did. But now Dan is kind of really making that number 9 shirt his own. I mean, it feels funny talking about strikers when I'm sat next to one of the best ones that we've ever had. But in terms of keeping that number 9 shirt, I mean, Kev, it must be like one of those things where you're like, I know that this place is up for grabs sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, what I like about him is he's not all about goals, and I think that's so important. Even my time here, I made it quite important to put the team first in everything I did. Listen, I wanted to score goals every single game, but I remember Russell Slade saying to me, look, Kev, you need to put yourself around, you need to do more for the team. This is after scoring like 16 goals. But I understood what he meant. Obviously, we got to the playoffs, and it was just due to being a bit selfless. And when I look at it, the way he plays, he's got a bit of that in him. He wants to score goals, but he also wants to do a lot for the team as well. He's really unselfish in what he does. And as you say, the way he uses his body is quite similar to me. We're not massive players, but he's really strong in making sure his body's in between the defender and himself, so he can get his team up the pitch. And I think that's really vital, especially in leagues like this.
It might be a tough afternoon for him today, though. In what we expect the football might become a bit of a battle, a bit of a scrap, especially with the conditions.
Yeah, but he'll be up for that. And I think that's quite important. He's not one of those that will go to Wigan and sort of disappear because he doesn't score. He'll be up for that. And the good thing about those sort of strikers are, despite whether they score or not, they've got a foundation of what they're going to do in that game. And he's not scared of the defenders. I'm sure he's not scared of big defenders, as I wasn't as well. If you believe in yourself, which he does, I think he'll have a good game no matter where he goes. Might not score goals, but he'll have a good game.
And he's shown such like big character in the last couple of weeks. I mean, he's always fun to watch for sure. But you think about games against, say, like Portsmouth last last season where we did them 3-0 away, and it was one of the best performances I think in a decade really. But he scored and celebrates doing the Portsmouth celebration in front of the Portsmouth fans. It's a bit of fun. He obviously enjoys it, but he's also really kind of digging deep at the moment to get these minutes into him. 120 minutes on Saturday, about 80 odd on Tuesday, and then starting again today. So he's clearly just enjoying himself at the moment.
He certainly is. Well, a long way the goals continue, and we're going to hear from Dan now as we've got his thoughts ahead of the game.
Winning on Saturday was the main thing, and the way we did it, you know, that was a really feisty game, and we came back, we did well, and you know, Josh Healy scoring that goal, the 1 million chance was the keeper scoring, which was great, and that got us back in the game. And then in extra time, I think it was like we kind of overran them, and we started creating more and more chances. I was really happy, you know, a bit of relief as well after missing the penalty, but these things happen, and you know, it's just about how you bounce back from it, and I think I bounced back quite well from it, and yeah, thankfully I was in the right position to score the goal. As a group, I feel like we've taken a lot of confidence from it. I think you could see from the way we played on Tuesday as well that we took confidence from it, and recently as a group we're getting closer and closer together, and the confidence that we're showing is reflected on the pitch and in training. Like, I feel like I'm getting fitter and fitter, and I feel like I'm really close to fully match fitness, and even late in games I still feel completely fine. So I think it's a testament to how well the sports scientists are doing here, and just everyone understanding their roles and just getting used to it. On Tuesday, I think we started the game really well. You know, we got a lot of final third entries quite early in, and we scored from the set piece, which I feel like our set pieces have improved a lot recently, and you know, we've been working hard on it on the training field. But we scored from that, and then Ollie O'Neill did a bit of magic and scored again, and then I scored my goal. But just in general, final third entries were a lot. You know, we were having a lot of chances. I had a lot of shots, and I guess the more you shoot, the more chances you get, the more likely you are to score. I knew the ball was probably going to stay on the pitch, and the guy was trying to shield it out, but I just thought, let me just try and get it, and I'm quite strong, so I was able to get the ball. And then as I'm running down the byline, I kind of know the keeper's going to try and make a dive on the floor, so I just pull it over him, and thankfully he went in. But I think we're feeling really confident now, you know. I think our last 5 games we've only lost one game maybe against Huddersfield and drew with Stevenage, but I do think we're performing well. We're creating chances, scoring goals, and we're looking really good right now, so we just need to try and continue it.
Just over 5 minutes to go until kick-off, so let's rattle through and take a look at the home sides of Sean Maloney's Wigan are looking to climb up the League One table themselves. And starting in goal for the Latics is number 1. It's Sam Tickle. Across the back line, their captain Jason Kerr is at centre-back alongside Will Aimson, and Stephen Sessegnon plays at left-back with Toby Sibic on the right side of the defence. Babajide Adiko and Scott Smith starting midfield with Dion Rankin, Jensen Weir, Silko Thomas just ahead of them two. And then leading the line is Dale Taylor. And on the bench is Tom Watson, James Carragher, Paul Dummett, Johnny Smith, Thilo Asgard, Callum McManaman and Malaise Asamoah. So, what did you make of that then, Andrew? Is some recognisable names in them, some good players?
Yeah, some recognisable names. 5 changes though from Tuesday, which is a kind of a surprise in some respects. I've already mentioned the fact that Asgard's not starting for them, probably being one of the most dangerous players so far this season. They'll be tough to break down. They kind of play almost like a 4-1-4-1. One player just screening the back 4, who can occasionally just drop in and shore things up at the back as well. So they will be tough to break down. I think Will Aimson and Kerr in the middle there will be they're tricky centre backs to play against. But we've got the quality as we've shown on Tuesday evening. So we should go in there with an element of confidence. You look at our front 4 versus their kind of back line. Jamie Donnelly, I thought, had one of his best games in an orange shirt. Ollie O'Neill got off on the score sheet for the first time this season, and Sonny had probably one of his better games as well, and he's kind of getting into some form now as well. So there's not a lot for us to be totally concerned about, but we just need to get it done.
And as we're approaching that Christmas period, the halfway point, Wigan just the 3 places above us, but there's only 2 points in it. We're kind of getting into that part of the season where you do start looking towards the table. How big is this game mentally to try and get one over on the teams around us?
Yeah, I think the manager would have spoken to the players about obviously this part of the season and how important it is to pick up 3 points, especially teams in and around you. But I think where you are in the table, probably January, sort of gives you a clear indication of what your season's going to be like. And I think so many games coming up now. If we can get wins, we can start climbing up that table, and then you get 9-10 points from the top 6. Then you could sort of give it a real good push, and then you could bring players in January as well. So I think it's really important in terms of who we bring in as well in January that we start getting some wins.
And equally, Andrew, Wigan will probably be thinking this is one that they don't want to lose. And it probably will be a finely balanced contest.
Yeah, I think it will be. It'll be one of the ones that I think, similar to the Stevenage game, will be interesting to see just how bad the conditions are. Like I said, we've heard from a couple of people who are up there that it's going to be a tricky game to play. But yeah, we wait and see. Well,
we're going to go and watch the match now. We might have some technical difficulties. I think we're going to be seeing the Leeds game for a second. I don't know what's going on.
Have we changed the kits?
Yeah, let's go over to the match, and hopefully we can very quickly get Orient. But here's Leeds warming up and coming out. Let's go live.